In this section, you will learn string class. As we have seen in the previous section, string object can be created as follows. String class name and object reference variable, and new keyword and constructor. Every object should be created using new keyword in Java. However, because strings are so common, we don't have to use the new operator to create a string object. So string can be created like this. Without new keyword, string can be created like this. This special syntax can works only for strings. Only for strings. Each string literal enclosed in double quotes represents a string object. It is occasionally helpful to refer to a particular character within a string. This can be done by specifying the character's numeric index. The index begins at 0 in each string. In the string hello, the character H is at index 0 and the O is at index 4. So I will show this by example. Here is an example of two strings. String greeting has hello world. Then in memory, greeting is look like this. So this is a name and object reference variable, and this is a real object. And index starts with 0. So H is at index 0, E is at index 1, L is index 2, and so on. Like this, I have a string name here, and name has object reference variable and object itself. And C is at index 0, and I is index 1, N is index 2, and D is index 3, and Y is index 4. So index is very important in string to refer to one character in that string. String methods. Once a string object has been created, neither its value nor its length can be changed. Therefore, we say that an object of string class is immutable. I will explain this in shortly. However, several methods of the string class return new string objects that are modified versions of the original. I will explain the meaning of mutable and immutable. Word is a string object, SCKOOL. I want to fix this word by replacing K with H. This is the invocation of replace method. So you understand this line, I think. This is the object name, dot, and this is the method name. And here is the parameters. This means that replace K with H in object word. If a string object is immutable, the object word will be modified as follows. If H is overwritten this place, then word will look like this. This means that word itself modified. So it means that word is mutable. So this is mutable. Word itself is changed. However, if a string object is immutable, we cannot change the word. Instead, we make a new object, that is SCHOOL. And then we will assign this new object to word, like this. So we cannot change the original object. Instead, we make new object and then change this reference value. This is immutable. So string objects are basically immutable. So every time you use a string object, this immutable happens. Once an object has been instantiated, we can use the dot operator to invoke its method's length. We have already seen this. A method may return a value which can be used in an assignment or expression. A method invocation can be thought of as asking an object to perform a service. Here I'll introduce several useful string methods. Length, we have seen already, char-add, concat, replace, substring to uppercase to lowercase. So we will see these methods one by one. Length method returns the length of the memory. This is the method invocation, as you know, object name, dot, and method name. The string title 1 has Java Software Solutions. This is the object. And title 2 has Harry Potter as its object. Here, title 1 the length. This means that find the length of the title 1 and return the result here. Title 1's length is 23. So 23 will return this place and 23 will be assigned to len1 variable. And title 2 the length will return 12. Since Harry Potter, the length of Harry Potter is 12. So 12 will be returned here, and then 12 will be assigned to len2. So we are now print out the length of these two strings. It seems a little bit complicated, but you know the escape sequence. This is the escape sequence, and this is the escape sequence. This is also, and this is also. So the output is like double quotes. Inside the double quotes, there is a title 1, and here the value of len1. That is the length of the title 1. And 12 is the length of the title 2. So if you want to know the length of the string, then you must use length method. Method char-add has one parameter, that is index. So it returns the character at the index. So object name dot char-add and one index. So index is an integer. String name points to the object Wozniak. So it looks like this in the memory. And here the name will be printed out. So name colon and name is Wozniak. So this is the first print out. And then name 0 will be printed out, and then name dot char-add 0. This means that have the character at index 0 in name object. So the uppercase letter W, this is at index 0, so W is printed out here, and name dot char-add 1, this means that have the character at the index 1 of name object. So O. Now O is printed out here, and so on. So char-add returns the character at the index. This is very useful when you need just one character from the string. There is one thing you should be careful when using index in string. When using an index in string, if an index out of range is used, an exception called string index out of bounds exception occurs. Exception is a kind of error. You will learn about the exception later. For example, there is no index 7 here. Index is from 0 to 6, so there is no index 7. But I want to find the character at index 7. Name dot char-add 7. So actually, if I run this code, this will appear as an error message. So you need to be very careful when using char-add method not to use index out of range. I'll talk about concat method. Concat returns the concatenation of two strings. We need to use concat method like this. Here string 1, string 2, and string 3 are all string objects. So object, string objects, and string object. Concat method creates a new string that concatenates string 1 and 2, and string 3 points to it. So string 1 and string 2 is already existed string, and string 3 will be created after concatenation. So here, string 1 and string 2 are not changed because the string is immutable object. So let me explain more about concat using example. Here, S1 is a string object which has grace as its value, and S2 has an object which has a hopper. So S1 and S2 looks like this. And I make a reference variable S3, and then S1 dot concat S2. This means that concatenation S1 and S2 will be returned here, and the object will assign to S3. So S3 will be created with S1 concatenated with S2. So S3 looks like this. And S1, S2 are not changed. So after this, if I print out, then S1 print out Grace, and S2 is printed out Hopper, and S3 is Grace Hopper. I think you remember the plus operator. If we use plus operator with numbers, then it is an addition. If we use plus operator with strings, that means concatenation. So instead of concat method, you can use a plus operator. So like this, string 1 plus string 2 means concatenate string 1 and 2, and then assign the concatenated result to string 3. At this time, string 1 and string 2 are not changed. And let's see an example. This is exactly the same example in the previous page. So S1 is Grace, and S2 is Hopper, and S3 only has a reference variable. And I concatenate S1, and I want to put one space here, and then I concatenate S2 to the S1 and space. Then S1 is Grace, S2 is Hopper, and S3 is Grace space Hopper. So if you want concatenate two strings, you can use concat or you can use plus operator. Replace method returns a string in which letter A is replaced with letter B. So this letter will be replaced with this letter. For example, state 1 has California. As you see, this is P. So I want to replace this with F. To do this, we need to write like this. State 1 dot replace P with F. So after this, the new string California F will be created, and then the new string will be assigned to state 2. So state 1 is still like this, and state 2 has F here. So when you print out, we can see this result. If there are multiple characters to be replaced, all are replaced. For example, state 1 is like this. So I want to replace X with S. Then state 1 dot replace X with S. If you write like this, then all X will be replaced to S. A new string will be created, and then the string will be assigned to state 2. So state 1 is still this string, and state 2 has this string. Substring method returns the substring from index A to index B-1. From A to B-1. B is not included. Here is an example. Java1 points to this string, and Java1 dot substring 9, 23. This means that take the substring of Java1 from index 9 to index 22. Be careful, index 23 is not included. So here, 9 is the place where I is, and then 22 is here. So from I to A, this substring will be returned this place, and then it will assign to Java 2. So you can have this output. To uppercase, convert a string to all uppercase letters, and to lowercase, convert a string to all lowercase letters. So for example, city1 has this object. And then city1 dot to uppercase is called. Then all the letters in city1 will change into capitalized. And then this method creates an object with city1 replaced with all lowercase letters. So when printing out these three, you can have this result. This example is from the textbook. I want you to analyze this code individually. Make sure you understand the methods. Here, length method is invoked, and concat method to uppercase, replace, substring, and length method again. So please analyze this code by yourself. Let's compare string and char type learned in Chapter 2. While strings are objects, char is a primitive data type. Char uses single quotes like this, and string uses double quotes. Char can have exactly one character inside the single quotes, just one character. String can have 0 or more characters inside the double quotes, 0 or more characters. For example, these are char type characters. So there is only one character inside a single quote. This is a space. There is only one character here. There is a space, and number can be inside char type data. Be careful, you cannot have empty character like this. There's nothing here, so this is empty, but char must have exactly one character, so this is an error. However, this is okay. There is one space here. String can be empty, so string can be empty, then length is 0. And string can have one character. There is one character space, and character can have any number of characters inside double quotes. Let's do a quick check. String str is like this. Then what is the length of this string? As you see here, the smallest index is 0 and the largest index is 25. So there are 26 characters inside here. So 26 is the answer. And str.substring 7, if there is only one number here, it means that find the substring from this index to the end. So the answer of this is from 7 to the end. So this is the answer of this substring method calling. And to uppercase is convert all the letters into uppercase letters. And finally, they ask the length again. Since the string object is immutable, the length does not change. So length is still 26. You can check the answer in the next page.